Welcome to episode 11, the final episode of the Giants rebuild. In this rebuild, we tried to break 2,000 yards and we failed to do it, but still doesn't mean that we didn't accomplish our goal of creating a really good team with the Giants playbooks. We proved that you can win with these playbooks for sure. So, can we ride off into the sunset with our third Super Bowl in 4 appearances? You have to find out. And also, what can we expect from a running back who's aging? Can you still use a 30-year-old running back? 31-year-old running back that has 88 speed, 85 acceleration. Does he still get the job done? You have to find out in this episode. My name is David, by the way. This is Franchise Revival. We rebuild teams and we put out content that helps you in your rebuilds. Without further ado, the conclusion of the New York Giants rebuild. Well, just in case there is another year of this rebuild, Cam Ward was the QB1 of the Pro Bowl. Rashard Carter was the halfback one of the Pro Bowl. Solomon Turner was the fullback of the Pro Bowl for us. Jamie Crosby, or whatever his name is, Crosby was there. Of course, Puka still going strong. Russo, our left tackle, made it. Perriman made it. I believe that's our right guard. Morgan. Baker made it. Sawyer made. Oh, he's on our team. What am I talking about? No, I don't see any of our players. Mondon, of course, made it. Crazy. Morse, our free safety, made it. That's good. And Hackett made it. So, our safeties are in play, but none of our DNs or D tackles made the Pro Bowl. That's unfortunate. So yearly awards, Stephen Douglas of the Chargers wins MVP. Coach of the Year, Mike Kafka, he Mr. Coach of the Year, of course. Jamie Crosby was the Offensive Player of the Year over the Lions' Paul Meadows. That's kind of crazy. Puka and Rashard Carter also in the mix. Andrew Wiggins over... Aaron Wiggins over Aiden Hutchinson for Defensive Player of the Year, beat out Jack Sawyer. Joel Flattery was the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jamie Beverly was the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Best QB was Bryce Young. Bryce Young always has an appearance later in rebuilds. Rashard Carter, Best Running Back. Best Wide Receiver, Jamie Crosby. Best O-line was Jared Knoll. Aaron Wiggins is the best D-line. Best linebacker, James Pierce Jr. Still going strong from the first draft of this rebuild. Pat Garland was the best defensive back. And best kicker was Cameron the Kicker Dicker. There you go. The 2034 recap, the Denver Broncos beat the Seattle Seahawks 24-8 for their first Super Bowl of this rebuild. Nazir Allen is the Super Bowl MVP, a cornerback. So there you go. We're at the resigning phase, so we're going to accept the option on our top corner, Montrell Cloud, and then Rashard Carter. Well, he's down to an 87 overall power back, 91 overall with the morale boost, 88 speed, 85 acceleration. He's going down. He's down to 79 strength. He's down 2 on the strength. He's down to 82 injuries. So we're going to get injured at some point, but we're going to try and bring this man back and keep riding with him until we can. All right, so we're going to give him 2 years, $24 million. Let's go. Welcome to have you back. All right, well, looking at free agency, there's really absolutely nothing out there we want or need, and I don't think I'm going to go after anybody to re-sign them. So we got depth. We just got to pick players. That's all. All right, well, we're sitting here at pick 17 of the second round, and we could take this safety. I really like him. He could always be moved to middle linebacker. There's a wide receiver we could take here. But we really need a backup defensive tackle, and that's primarily our need. So I'm going to take this man here and get some good depth. He's got a B block shed, C finesse, C power move, C tackle. He's a run stopper. 6'2", 343, 21 years old. So we're going to take my man Austin Whitfield out of UCF. Number 37 in true value. We got him at 49, and he fits a need of depth. Nothing fun, nothing sexy, but we'll take it. Well, at pick 115, we take the number 93 true value player in Marcus Brown, another defensive tackle. He's got a hidden development, 6'2", 349, 96 strength. Let's see what he's got. Hey, we can, if anything, we can move him to one of our DN spots and put him up there. So, be a nice replacement for some other players that are getting older. All right, well, looking at the draft recap, Austin Whitfield, 73 overall regular. Logan Parker was a wet fart of a pick. Really got fooled on this one. Marcus Brown, 70 overall superstar. Yes, he is. Steve Garland, another just depth pick here. Matt Dell, he's a 6'8", 89 speed, 91 acceleration, 71 strength, 6'8", freak, 60 overall tight end. So, star development. That's all he is. And then Freddie Leslie, 68 overall, power lineman. He was undrafted, and we kind of stepped him out there. So, really not great from us. Let's check out how the rest of the NFL did. Whoa. I mean, 76 overall was the best player in the draft. These are getting weak, man. These just this is weaker than the last one. That's crazy. All right, well, welcome to the 2035 season. We're an 88 overall team, 89 on offense, 87 on defense. And I'm already done with this year because Rashard Carter got hurt in the first week of practice strategizing. So he's out. That's fun. Gonna miss a game. Let's take a look at the team. Cam Ward. We got the rookie Dan Sherman, if we ever get that far. Timmy Colbert, 82 overall, will be taking over the reins as the lead back right now. 5'11", 231, 92 speed, 91 acceleration. Only 80 strength, but he has 93 agility. Not the greatest. Solomon Turner still here, 81 overall, 9-year player. Jamie Crosby, Brent Rogers, Lynn Hodgins finally getting the lineup because Alex Bautista is also out. Steve Alvarez, 85. Of course, Russo, Tatum. Robert Pearman's still kicking strong here for us. Riley Ellis, Alan Baker still here. Tyliak Williams, 10-year player, 93 overall, still going strong. Dayon Walker, 10-year player, 91 overall. Felix Smith, 9-year player, 86 overall. He's starting to regress. Larry Hammond, still not an 80 overall player. Franklin Commence, Dwight Abbott, Bo Hopkins, Montreal Cloud, Dean Stevens, Emmett Hughes, Daniel Morris, Ahmad Charles, Taylor Clifford, and Julian Hackett. So there you go, the team. You may know them, you may not. Solid team all around. Not too many game changers right now, but let's advance and see how our backup running back can do in his first game starting. All right, well, we get the win 28-25. I get him in the run and shoot scheme and training to rush outside. So, looks like it's been doing pretty well. Cam Ward, 239 yards and a passing touchdown. Timmy Colbert Colbert, or whatever you want to say it is. 15 rushes, 47 yards, 3.1 yards and carry, and 2 touchdowns. Len Hodgins filled in 8 for 119. What did Jamie Crosby get hurt too? What the hell? Sacks wise, Felix Smith had a sack and a half. Tyler Williams had a sack. Austin Whitfield had a sack. Dan Walker half a sack. And no interceptions. Well, the defense looks like it's playing well, and hopefully we get our man Rashard Carter back, and we'll see you halfway through this season. All right, well, quickly, let's talk about Rashard Carter coming back. So he only has 88 speed, 85 acceleration, I think. And his first game back, which is week 2, he had 20 carries, 126 yards, at 6.3 yards average, and a touchdown, and 4 broken tackles for 43 yards after contact. That's better than he did when he had 92 speed and 92 acceleration. Just wanted to point that out. Oh, and he also had 2 catches for 44 yards and a receiving touchdown. All right, well, welcome to the halfway point of the 2035 season. We are 7-2. We're coming off a loss to the Cowboys, which is unfortunate, but we're 5th in points, 15th in pass yards, 1st in rush yards, 4th in points against, 20th in pass yards against, and 1st in rush yards against. Let's look at the stats for our players. Cam Ward, 1,900 yards, 16 passing touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. A passer rating of 113.3 a game, but only averaging 218 a game. That's unfortunate. Rashard Carter, 131 carries, 600 yards, 4.6 yards carry, 3 rushing touchdowns, 75 yards game, 20 broken tackles. Timmy Colbert has snuck in there a couple times, especially during games. He has 42 carries for 147 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. So Rashard Carter slowing down a little bit here. Jamie Crosby, 37 catches, 489 yards receiving, and 5 receiving touchdowns. And then Alex Bautista just absolutely killing it with 50 receptions, 448 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Defensively, we're really slowing down in sacks. I've seen it game to game. Tyler Williams only has 5.5. Dan Walker has 2. So not doing too well here in the turnover margin. So we should probably try and fix that. Always forget to do this. We need to talk about contracts. Cam Ward's up for negotiations. We are not going to bring him back. We're going to go with the rookie if we get that far. Daniel Mars, definitely want to keep him. He wants a lot of money, and we'll see if he'll take this. Cool. All right, well, we got one man retained. We want to keep Tyler Williams, I think, for sure. At least 2 more years. That works for me. Ahmad Charles. We'll see if we'll take this. 6 years. All right, we'll give him a little bit more next week. Emmett Hughes, the corner. We'll give you this, bud. Get you to stay 5 years. All right, Emmett Hughes stays. Our players is building really slowly. How about Jeremy Fowler? Do we need a backup guy that bad? We'll take this tackle for sure. Good backup tackle. Give him 6 years. Yeah, he might be starting for us next year, actually. All right, well, we're in the playoffs, the 2035 playoffs. We went 13-4, and we got the first round bye. 4th in points, 25th in pass yards. That's gross. 1st in rush yards, 109.8. 2nd in points allowed. 2nd in pass yards allowed. And 1st in rush yards against. Let's look at the stats. Cam Ward regressing. 3,700 yards passing, only 26 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 105 rating. He was at 113 last year, or was that halfway? Yes, whatever. Rashard Carter, 238 carries, 1,000 yards, 4.2 yards a carry, 9 rushing touchdowns, 39 broken tackles, only 70 yards after contact. Colbert, 77 carries, 334 yards, and 10 rushing touchdowns, 4.3 yards a carry. So, what's this tell us? Rashard Carter has 88 speed, 85 acceleration, but he's 87 overall. Timmy, he's only an 82 overall, but he has more speed. So they're kind of similar. I don't know. Take that from what you will, but I mean, hell, if he'd played the whole season, he'd it said he only missed 2 games, but he missed like most of 3 other games, I believe. So his rushing stats going to be a lot higher. Alex Bautista, 93 receptions, 925 yards, 5 receiving touchdowns. Jamie Crosby, he took a step back. Somehow Steve Alvarez had a big season with 72 catches, 674 yards, and 8 receiving touchdowns. He did go up to an X Factor. So we dealt with our injuries. Lynn Hodgins got a bunch of play. Sacks. We made a little bit of a rally towards the end of the season. Deion Walker, 13.5. Tyleak Williams had 11. Felix Smith had 6.5. Larry Hammond had 2.5. And then interceptions, not great. I mean, the defense played good, but we did not play great. Let's look at how many sacks we have. We need to, hopefully we went over 30, because there we go. We got 41 sacks. We're going backwards a little bit here with the sacks. Now, we're still in the top 5, but we were in the top 3. Vikings had 52. Lions have 64. They're 8-9. Vikings were 9-8. They got the Rams and the Falcons. Let's go back and look at the stat leaders. Shedeur Sanders, 4,900 yards passing, 35 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions. What does this man have? He's just a star at 32 years old. We have to check that playbook. Solomon Chambers, 38 passing touchdowns, led the league. So passing numbers are kind of down here. I swear this is relative. I mean, the leading rusher in the league had 1,100 yards. And we were top 5 with 1,004. I swear it's relative to what you're doing rushing wise. I swear it to God it is. Tony Akins at 17 rushing touchdowns. What playbook could they have been in? Are they in? Do you think they're in the Chiefs? Tell me right now what you think the Raiders are in. Paul Meadows still leads the league, filling in for the new Amon-Ra. Malik Neighbors. Oh man, Malik Neighbors goes to Bucks. Has 101 catches, 1,400 yards, and 17 touchdowns. He's still a beast. Yeah, Paul Meadows led the league with 21 touchdowns. Luke Richards in the slot for Indy. Lat McConkey's still doing it. Oh, Jamar Chase is still after it. Good for him. How about defensively? Derek Walker had 130 tackles. Edgerrin Cooper's been really good. Tackles for loss. Deion Bowen, our former player. He's not even, wow. Not even a star. Former player of ours. Aaron Wiggins leads the league in sacks along with Aiden Hutchinson. And then Tyreek Tate at 20. Grant Mann, Jack Sawyer. Trent Jordan, the middle linebacker, had 7 interceptions. What does he have? He is a normal development. Nothing to do with abilities leading the league. All right, well, that's a look at the stats here. Oh, yeah, you know what we should look at? Let's look at the record books. Well, Eli Manning, 5,700 yards. Well, not 57. 57,000 yards passing, 366. We're looking at team stats for a career. Eli Manning still leading the way with both yards and touchdowns, but Rashard Carter, 11,584 yards rushing, 131 rushing touchdowns. Malik Neighbors, the leader. Sacks wise, still Strahan. For a season, Cam Ward did lead the way with 46 touchdowns, but Eli Manning still has the record for the Giants for a season with 4,900. Wow, he had 4,900. That's crazy. Where is Cam Ward? He's 57. Where's Cam Ward? Oh, Cam Ward's way off. He's close to touchdowns, but he's way off on yards. Wow. Where's Tyleak Williams has 32. What's Strahan? Oh, Tyleak can definitely catch Strahan. He's got Tyleak Williams has 32, so he's 9 off. All right, there you go. Let's get to the next round and see if we can get back to the Super Bowl. We're taking on the 8 and 9 Cardinals. How did they get here? Well, they beat the number 2 seed, the Chicago Bears, who we overtook as the 1 seed after winning the final week of the season. So that's a bad omen. That's a pretty bad omen. When you lose the 1 seed in the last week of the season, it's pretty bad. Think about the Vikings and the Lions this year, where one could have had the 1 seed and the other had to play in a wild card. It's pretty crazy. You got the Broncos and the Browns on one side and the Raiders and the Chargers on the other side. I mean, there's no Chiefs. There's no Bills. There's no Ravens. Wow. That's an interesting side. This side, pretty interesting as well. There's no Eagles, no Cowboys. There are the 49ers. There's no... Who else? Why am I can't think right now. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting playoff. So let's check out their team. They got a Jaden Daniels, who we are very familiar with. Marquez John. Oh, they're probably, if anything, they're missing a halfback, but that's not good. DeMarco Whitmore, Isaiah Benjamin. Not the greatest team here. They got 2 nice tight ends, I guess, overall wise. Maybe 3. Left tackle's hurting them. Yeah, I mean, how did this team even make the playoffs? A decent O-line, minus the left tackle. They're not good up the middle at all. Junior Perry, he's fine. Justin Rainey, Derek Bayer. Yeah, they have no game changer whatsoever. Let's see what their injury status is like. They're missing their best left end, so they don't even have a running back. So this should be a walk in the park. They're 31st against stopping the run. right? Okay, great. They're good against stopping the pass. We don't pass. This should not be a loss, Madden, at all. We have a better record, better overall, and their weakness is our strength. Walk in the park. Not really. 27-24. They gave us a fight. It's not like that's not what you want to see. Cam Ward, he got hurt. He's in and out of the lineup. Only 183 yards passing and one passing touchdown. Of course, Rashard Carter gets hurt again, and it's Colbert's time. Alex Bautista has been our best wide receiver by far. I mean, Jamie Crosby's been sucking real bad. Tyler Williams. You know what? I know why. You know why I think Crosby's doing bad? I changed his freaking abilities. I'm telling you, that's what it is. All right, well, let's do some upgrades here, and we'll check out the 49ers, who are 9-8. 49ers are 9-8 team, 87 overall, 88 offense, 87 defense. So a decent team, but still middle of the road as far as points and yards. The only thing they do well is limit the other teams from scoring. They're third in points against. Let's look at their roster. They still have Brock Purdy, who's an 89 overall X Factor. Mike Gay, he's an 86 overall running back. Looks pretty decent. Corey Ingram. Tim Maul and Caleb Patton, decent players for them. Nothing special. Armon Baker, who we know very well. We've lost and won against this team before. They seem to be the team we meet the most in the playoffs and actually at this position. Their O-line's pretty good. They have Von Wheeler, who's only 78 overall. Nick Scourton, he's up to an 86 overall, but he's a 10-year player, and he's undersized. Carl Jenkins, 96 overall, X Factor. Yeah, they got a pretty decent interior offensive line. Wait, how heavy was this guy? 295. Well, they got a lighter interior defensive line. German is 85 overall. Aldridge, 86. They got decent linebacking core. One real good corner. Safety, 79 overall, and so they got one decent safety. You know, they're not a bad team. I don't know if they have any game changers like us. We've got game changers. All right, well, there you go. That is that's the 49ers, and let's see if we're going back to the Super Bowl to finish out this rebuild on a high note. And we're going back. We beat them 31-14. Let's go. Cam Ward showed up. He balled out. 305 yards passing, 4 passing touchdowns. Rashard Carter, only 15 carries for 46 yards. Jamie Crosby, you must have heard me talking about him because he had 10 receptions for 185 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Defensively, Deion Walker had our only sack, and Emmett Hughes had an interception. So there you go. We're back in the Super Bowl. We're taking on the Browns, who beat the Chargers. Oh, and there's that Bryce Young guy always showing up at random points in the rebuilds on a different team. 304 yards for Bryce Young against the Chargers. Jose Spruce, who was a former player of ours, 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dwight Blair, Andrew Potter. Ooh, they still have Luther Burton. All right. How about defensively? Alex Roberts was their leading in sacks for that game. And all right. Well, we'll check out the Browns in a little bit. All right. Well, welcome to the Super Bowl. We are taking on the 10-7 Browns. They're an 85 overall team with an 87 overall offense, 84 defense, 6th in points, 4th in pass yards, 14th in rush yards, 12th in points against. 18th in pass yards against and 4th in rush yards against. So that doesn't bode well for us. They can kind of take away what we do. What playbook are they in? We should know what that is. All right, well, the Browns are in Philadelphia. And they're led by one Bryce Young. That would be a hard pill to swallow. So they're completely healthy. We're missing our second best wide receiver, which isn't good. Bryce Young, 34 years old, 86 overall superstar. All right. He's got agile extender and spin cycle on him. Nick Nugent is his backup. He's a young player. Revenge game here for Jose Spruce. That's not good. Wide receiver, they have Andrew Potter, Luther Burden the third. He's still an 85 overall. Dwight Blair, big guy there. Darnell Shelby. Rhett Halen, 91 overall, X Factor tight end, of course. 84 overall. Left tackle, 89 overall. Left guard, center is not very good, but they have 4 other good linemen, so kind of hides that center there. Their left end isn't that good. Alex Roberts, 92 overall superstar. Undersized, but pretty good. They have a Michael Hall Jr. who's 87 overall. And a rookie superstar X Factor in Cameron McCain. Awesome. Parker Lindley. He's a 79 overall. George Claxton, 84 overall. Abdul Carter. That's awesome. Another X Factor. They have a pretty decent rookie there. I think this is their... Who's their best player? Yeah, I think this is their best player. Their corner, Nasir Kilroy. I got some nice rookies. They did a really good job drafting. Their safety... Okay. Terrence Lawton, pretty good. So, we got our work cut out for us, for sure. Let's look at the yearly awards before we get into this game. Stephen Douglas is the MVP over Bryce Young. Coach of the Year, Mike Kafka. He's like every year. Paul Meadows, Offensive Player of the Year. No shocker there. Malik Neighbors finishes second. Cool. Defensive Player of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson over his teammate. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Lindsey Snow over a couple of Commanders players. Taylor Weathers is Defensive Rookie of the Year. Eduardo Roman, Best QB. That's interesting. Manny Hughes, the Best RB. Got it over Carter. Best wide receiver, Paul Meadows. Malik Neighbors, Puka. Oh, Riley Ellis. He is a... That should make him a superstar now. Aiden Hutchinson. Edwin Cooper. Kari Justice is the best defensive back. And the best kicker is Cam Little. Alright, so we have a 0-0 game with 11:32 left in the first quarter. We take a 7-0 lead. Still in the first quarter, we get a 14-0 lead. Into the second quarter, we're driving here. 21-0. They're going to score 21-7. 28-7. Into the third, not much time left in the third quarter. They get another score. It's 28-14, 28-17. Into the fourth quarter, 35-17.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to present the Lombardi Trophy to the New York Giants. On top of the world, they are your Super Bowl champions.
All right, well, there you go. We get our Super Bowl in our final year. Yes, this is the final year of the rebuild. It's gone on long enough. And this is how I want it to end. Cam Ward, 331 yards in his final year as a New York Giant. 3 passing touchdowns. Rashard Carter, 2.6 yards to carry, but he did have 2 rushing touchdowns. Jamie Crosby, 8 for 91 and 2 touchdowns. Steve Alvarez stepping up as our tight end, our superstar tight end. 5 receptions, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Lynn Hodgins getting into the lineup a lot more with us missing our second best wide receiver. And defensively, 3 sacks altogether and an interception. Won the turnover battle. Julian Hackett sealed the deal there for us. 35-17. Riding off champions. And looking at the 2035 season recap, Cam Ward is your Super Bowl MVP. The New York Giants are 7-time Super Bowl champions. Mike Kafka, Coach of the Year. And that's about it for the awards. We get the biggest one of them all. Riding off into the sunset. Oh, Rashard Carter's career is pretty much over. He got cut 2 years later after we won that Super Bowl. The year after the Super Bowl, he was surpassed by the number 2 running back in overall. And he got like 6 rushing touchdowns and like 200 some yards as a backup running back. So he finishes his career 11,823 rushing yards, 137 touchdowns as a Giant. Malik Neighbors, the leader of the Giants in both receiving yards, touchdowns, and receptions. Tyleak Williams still going strong, 150 sacks. He is the all-time sack leader for a career on the Giants. So we couldn't surpass Eli Manning as the all-time passer with both touchdowns and passing yards, but we weren't in that kind of playbook. So it is what it is. That is the end of the Giants. We won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls that we were in what, 10 or 11 years? Like 10 years? 11 years? There you go. I'm tired. That's all she wrote. We got a lot of stuff going on here coming up. So these the only bad thing about these rebuilds is they take away from grinding on getting certain kind of content out there, like best playbooks and stuff like that. So we got some stuff planned for you, and we'll see you soon.